Hey, what's up guys? Ophelia coming at you with a brand new Yu-Gi-Oh video, and today we're doing a brand new discussion on the new Harpie cards that were revealed last week to be coming out in the new Duelist pack, Legend Duelist 4. Now, Legend Duelist 4 is a set that I was going to make a video talking about how I wanted it to be based around heroines. Obviously, it is going to be based around the heroines, because Maya was revealed as the first duelist and the second duelist is Akiza, so they're two of my favorite characters throughout all of Yu-Gi-Oh! So definitely I'm going to try and get some OCG boxes of this set into overview guys here on the channel. It is coming out on the 10th of November in the OCG, and we currently have no TCG release date for it, but personally I want to get OCG versions of the deck because it's Harpies, and they're going to be heavily sensitive when they come to the TCG. So this is the pack artwork here. We do get to see Mai and Perfumer and Oracle, the two new Harpie monsters. Mai being one of my favorite probably being up there with one of my favorite characters from the original Yu-Gi-Oh series, just because of how such an interesting character she was. And I know a lot of people give her some crap because they kind of messed her character around a lot in the 4th season, and that was like her main amount of character development, and people hate season 4, but I think what they did with her in that season was pretty good. But anyway, that's beside the point. If you're not familiar with the Legend Duelist packs already, they are basically designed around supporting anime character decks that aren't necessarily as playable as to the current standards of the game. So previous decks we've seen supported like Amazonas, we've seen Legendary Fisherman. No, they're supporting these some really obscure decks, and the fact that Harpies got supported basically out of nowhere really surprised me. When I first saw the cards, I hated them, but I've been testing them for a week and realizing that they're actually pretty decent if you build around them. So also in this video, we're going to be talking about some of the combos that you can pull off with these new cards, and you can make some pretty insane combos with these cards if you open well. But without that out of the way, guys, remember to like and subscribe to the channel, ring the bell so you're updated whenever I release new content. And now guys, let's start by taking into the new cards. So first off is our Harpie Perfumer. She is a level 4 Wind Wing Beast with 1400 attack and 1300 defense. Much like every single Harpie Lady retrain in the game, she counts as Harpie Lady on your field and in your graveyard, helping to make more consistency with the deck with cards like your Field Spell and your Trap, obviously, and Steric Party, and most, of course, your Broken Ass Hand Trap, which you'll probably be seeing a lot more of rogue-wise. If you don't know what it does, you might want to go check it out. It's called Harpie's Featherstorm, and it is insanely broken. So what she does as well, if she is normal or special summoned, you can add any spell or trap from your deck to your hand that specifically lists the card Harpie Lady Sisters. So she can do it on normal or special summon. So if you normal her, and if you open with her and not a channeler, you can still do plays now. So the good thing about the deck now is opening. You have 6 playmakers straight out of the deck from the start. You have 3 Perfumer, and you'll have 3 channeler. So if you open up with either one of these monsters, you'll be able to do something. In the sense, normally if you didn't open them up with her, you just set a Harpist and you cry. But now you can actually do something with either of these, which is definitely why you would, if you were building specifically around these new cards, you'd be running 3 Dancer, 3 Channeler, 3 Perfumer, 3 Channeler. Otherwise, you probably in your standard build, you'd be running like 3 Channeler, maybe 2 Perfumer, because her search capabilities are a little more limited. She's only able to search 5 cards. These are your Field Spell. Your Elegant Egotist, obviously very important, is getting reprinted in the pack in OCG, along with Harpie Lady Sisters and your Harpie Lady Phoenix formation, which I can't stress hard enough. Do not run it. I talk about it more in detail on the archetype analysis for Harpies I have up here on the channel if you want to go take a look at that. Her other effect is if you activate her search effect while you control a level 5 or higher Harpie monster, you can add up to 2 cards with different names instead. Of course, both still have to list Harpie Lady Sisters, and you can only use each effect as a hard once per turn, so you can only do the search once per turn. Now I want to make mention, of course, quickly that there are only 3 monsters currently in the archetype that do meet the condition of being level 5 or higher. So you have Harpie's Pet Dragon and Harpie Lady Sisters, obviously the main reasons why these have that effect, because these are Mai's 2 boss monsters in the anime. But of course, we all know Channeler can jump to level 7 if you control a dragon. But being able to search out 2 cards really quickly is pretty insane. But unfortunately, it can be a little difficult first turn to get that double search off, but second turn, no doubt, you will definitely get that double search off. So the best play you would probably do is you'd open up with Channeler, you'd discard, your Harpie Harpist, the Grave, so she'd activate in the end phase to search for another monster. if you don't have the next Oracle, which we'll talk about in a minute, you'd search Oracle, you'd probably search another channel up. Then you can special summon out Perfumer straight from the deck. Perfumer's effect will activate, and you can go ahead and search for your Elegant Egotist, meaning that your Hysteric Sign, you don't have to use your, if you open it, you don't have to use your Hysteric Sign's effect to search this, but you can as well, and make some ridiculously insane boards. Use this to summon out, you know, if you've got Sign, or you want to make a ridiculous Link or rank 4 play, you can, you know, bring out some level 4 Harpies, or you can even bring out your sisters if you have the next monster in your hand. So, some really cool combos you can pull off with her. Definitely a decent card to be printed in Ultra. She's definitely the better of the two monsters, in my opinion, due to how much more versatile she actually is. Their second monster is their super rare, and it is Harpie Oracle. So she becomes Harpie Lady while she's on field and in graveyard. She has the 1300 attack, 1400 defense, same stats as the original Harpie Lady. She's a level 4, and her effect is, both of her effects, each of her effects can only be used as a hard once per turn. If you control a level 5 or higher Harpie monster, she can be special summoned straight from the hand. So obviously there are lots of ways to get level 5 or higher Harpie monsters out in the field. You can bring out Dragon, you can get your channel to level 5 by having any Dragon, you can use Elegant Egotist to bring out your sisters. There's lots of cool ways to do that. Then when she's normal or special summoned, you get to activate her effect. During the end phase, add a spell or trap that specifically lists Harpie Lady Sisters in its text from your grave to your hand. Now, I know this isn't the first card that I've seen that activates its effect in main phase but searches in end phase. The new Gravekeeper Fusion monster, Gravekeeper Esper, has a similar effect. And I really like the idea because I think, based on what I've seen on The Sims and stuff when I've been testing this, these effects do activate if these monsters go to graveyard, because you've activated the effect in main phase and then it just searches, so, or adds, you know what I mean? So she actually does have some pretty decent synergy. Being able to special summon her out is really good because, like I said, there's so many ways to bring them out. I do think she's more situational, so you'd probably only run her at max 2 copies in a deck that specifically revolved around having level 5 or highers, because again, there aren't that many. But overall, I think she's a pretty interesting card, being able to add, you know, cards back from your graveyard. So unfortunately, these new supports can't add Harpie's Featherstorm because they know that Featherstorm is probably a ridiculously broken card and they don't want us recycling it that fast. But again, there are ways to search Featherstorm and you still do run them. So she's definitely a good monster, but she's nowhere near as good as Perfumer in my personal opinion. Their next card is their spell card, which is the Split Mirrors of Seduction. It joins the club, the exclusive club of being one of the, I think, 3 cards in the archetype that specifically do not list Harpie in their name. 3 or 4 cards that really don't list Harpie in their name, which are like Hysteric Sign, Egotist, Party, and your Cyber Shield, their equip spell. So it is pretty good. Obviously, the name Split Mirrors of Seduction will be censored and changed when it comes to the TCG, but I think the name-wise is very fitting with the naming convention. The name of this card is so fitting with how Harpies have evolved from being just a simple vanilla 1300, 1400 defense normal winged beast type monster to being one of the most popular female archetypes in the history, female solo, you know, pure female archetypes in Yu-Gi-Oh history. The artwork, of course, is gorgeous as well, showing us basically the evolution of the Harpies, and this card is another reason why I really want to get OCG versions of this deck. So it shows us Cyber Harpie at the front, followed by Queen, then you got your Channeler, your Dancer, and finally your Perfumer, like I said, showing the evolution, and I love the artwork and naming of this card. And its effects aren't that bad either. So when your Harpie Lady or Harpie Lady Sisters is destroyed by battle, you can special summon a Harpie monster with a different original name from your deck. If this card, in its owner's control, is destroyed by an opponent's card effect or your Harpie card's effect, target one Harpie monster in your graveyard, special summon it. You can only use each effect of this card as a hard once per turn. So the only problem I have with this card from the outset is that the monster has to be destroyed by battle. But then you read further and it says special summon one Harpie monster. So you can actually use this card to bring out Dragon and to bring out your dragons, which I think is really cool. And it's from your graveyard. So if you opened up with a bricked dragon at the start, which is something that happens to me not super frequently, it can happen. You know, I mean, you're running a level 7, it's going to happen occasionally, but at least you can ditch it. You can bring your dragon straight out back from the graveyard, which is one of the things I really like about the card. As well as its destruction effect is really cool. I love how it says your Harpie card's effect, so it's not necessarily if it's destroyed by Harpie's hunting ground, they have it open in case any new other Harpie cards do get released that specifically pop spells and traps. at this stage, there's no real monsters that I can think of that have that ability to destroy spells and traps within the Harpie archetype. But I do like that effect that they've limited it because, otherwise they'd just be activating it, making Tornado Dragon, popping this card specifically in my turn, and then in my opponent's turn, I'd be popping Hysteric Sign, and I'd be plussing like crazy. So I think it's pretty interesting there, but it is a good bait card for your opponent, and it's nice if you blow it up with your field spell as well. Their final card, guys, is the Elegant Harpie Lady, and this is a direct reference, in my opinion, to the anime effect of Elegant Egotist in the sense that it turns one Harpie Lady into 3. It allows you to shuffle one Harpie Lady sisters you control into the deck and special summon a Harpie monster, each with a different original name from your hand, deck, and graveyard. You can't special summon monsters for the rest of this turn, except Wind. Obviously, cards like this have that effect, and Harpies is predominantly a wind archetype anyway. If this card in its owner's control is destroyed by an opponent's card effect or your Harpie card effect, you can add a Harpie monster from your deck to your hand, and each effect, of course, is a hard once per turn. So this card can make some pretty insane plays if you get it off. And if you are running a deck based around these cards, obviously you would run this at 2, and you'd run probably Seduction at 2 or 3. This card is a little more bricky than Seduction. Seduction isn't really a brick because it's when any Harpie. This is specifically send sisters back. I do like the fact that it has its destruction effect, and you can immediately add the Harpie monster. So if you open with your field spell and the Harpie monster, or you open with a field spell channeler and your field spell channeler and no other Harpie monster, you can activate your field spell, set this normal channeler, pop this trap immediately, and immediately get the search for your Harpist, discard your Harpist, special summon your Perfumer, and continue on with your play. So at the very least, it's a decent bait card for your opponent, and I love the references to the anime. But overall, guys, that is it for the new Harpie cards. What do you guys think of them? Please feel free to leave a comment below with your favorite cards from this arc that we've seen so far. Did this Harpie support come out of nowhere for you guys? I want to know what you think about it as well. Let me know in the comments below, as well as what other characters' decks you'd like to see supported in the new Duelist Pack. I mean, it comes out in just over a month, and we only know 2 of the characters. I mean, I'd love to see Rio in the deck. I know Akiza is supported as well, and she's my favorite 5Ds character, so it would be really cool to see my favorite Zexal character actually receive support as well, because Rio did receive support, but in the Rio Shark Duels pack, which was an OCG exclusive, but basically none of her cards were in it. It was mostly just a Shark Duels pack. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Feel free to check out some of my other Yu-Gi-Oh videos up here on the channel, particularly my Harpie stuff. Remember to like and subscribe, hit the bell button so you're updated whenever I release new content. And once again, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you for my next video.